The Torrington City Council. We're glad you're here. Thanks for coming. We'll call the meeting to order, and before we move any further, I want to thank Grant and Ryan Cates from KGOS KERM for broadcasting us live on 99.9 FM and also on YouTube channel, keeping us live there and keep us visible to the public. Also, Cindy Shealy, our reporter for the Torrington Telegram. Thank you for covering us. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the pledge. And Rick, would you read?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sorry to drop that on you. I need the words.
Need the words.
Good evening. We've had a very mild and enjoyable fall, I think, and I hope that we can expect the same as the season progresses. Most of the sprinklers have been blown out now. Some of the fall colors remain. Leaves continue falling off the trees, and we can soon expect our first snowfall. Before we have to hunker down with winter weather, we'd encourage everyone to get outside and enjoy this beautiful Wyoming fall. We know it's not going to last forever. Halloween is now in our rear window, and Thanksgiving and Christmas will soon be dominating our holiday plans. As of Friday, October 28th, the number of weekly positive COVID tests is increasing. In the words of the Goshen County Public Health, there are few being treated at community hospital for COVID-related illnesses, and it seems we all know someone who has been recently diagnosed with COVID. For the next 2 weeks at least, the Goshen County transmission rate is in the high category. Historically, November has been a deadly time for COVID here in this county. The next vaccination clinic will be held in the Pony Express room on the 15th of this month. Bivalent Omicron booster is also available. Please call Public Health for an appointment. We continue to ask everyone to be aware of our children, parents, buses, and the activity that is taking place in and around our schools. Slow down in those areas. The speed limit in school zones is 20 miles per hour. Lights, signs, and painted crosswalks are visible in all those areas. Just this past week, a vehicle-pedestrian accident occurred in our community, putting the pedestrian in the hospital with serious injuries. Please slow down, put your phone down, and refrain from talking and texting while you're driving in our community. The city, with the support of the Rotary Club, will be adding additional crosswalks and signage to be installed in the next couple of months. Please slow down and use caution in those areas while those projects are being completed. There are grass and leaf dumpsters located throughout the city for your cleaned up lawn waste. Please refrain from placing anything other than grass and leaves in those dumpsters. Remember to take your separated paper products, cardboard and aluminum and steel cans to Elk EcoCycle. They are open Monday through Wednesday from 8 to 4 for your convenience. The Homesteader Museum's Museum of October 28th and 29th was a great success thanks to the Museum Association and students from the Torrington High School Drama Department. About 300 guests enjoyed a happy Halloween event at that museum. Last night's trunk or treat event in downtown Torrington saw many hundreds of youngsters and their parents enjoying Halloween festivities in a safe environment, sponsored by Economic Development, our downtown businesses, the Torrington Police Department, and the Torrington Fire Department. As I've reported in the past, the city prepared 4 major water and wastewater projects to be considered for ARPA grants. The city of Torrington was fortunate to receive our full request of $3.5 million to fund our wastewater treatment plant. 3 of our 4 requests were not funded. There were 113 applications from Wyoming municipalities totaling $225,481,861. There was $50 million available for funding. So including our request, 18 projects were funded, 95 were denied. There are 2 candidates for mayor on the general election ballot to be held Tuesday, November 8th. They are Dennis Kelly and Herb Doby. There are 3 city council candidates for the 2 open positions. They are Kate Steinbach, Wayne Deal, and Shane Victorin. Concern about this election is greater than in previous elections. I have given out numerous sample ballots to those people who are concerned enough to want to make a wise and thoughtful decision. Please inform yourself about these candidates and be an intelligent and informed voter. The results of this election will have dramatic impact on your city and your county going forward for the next few years. Also on the ballot is a request from the City of Torrington for a favorable vote concerning the stormwater utility. The city's stormwater system is old and in serious need of repair. A revenue stream is necessary to build up a fund whereby the city's stormwater infrastructure can be maintained and improved. A permanent and dependable revenue stream is necessary to upgrade that system. Last thing I have for you is that Goshen County Economic Development has announced their nominations for community awards, and we are proud to announce that Chief of Police Matt Johnson has been nominated for the Community Leader Award, and Electrical Department employee Michael Schuler has been nominated as Community Volunteer of the Year. Winners will receive recognition for all they do for our community. We encourage everyone in the community to stop in at Economic Development and office there and vote in support of these candidates. Voting will end tomorrow, and then they'll make a decision. That's all I've got for that. Thank you. Approval of the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from 10/18/22 City Council meeting as published.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kinney, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have unanimously approved the consent agenda. The agenda approval is next, and we have no additions or corrections.
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are done. All right, we'll move to action items. The first action item is mayor's appointments. Within about the last 2 months, our deputy treasurer resigned, and in the last week or two, we have hired a new person, Christine Nichols. She will be taking the place of Amy on the Health Insurance Committee, the Investment Committee, and the Wage Committee. Sylvia will be taking the place of Amy on the Performance Evaluation Committee. So what I'd like is for your approval of those appointments.
Do these need to be done separately?
By person, not by, you could do all three of Chris's together.
Okay.
All
Thanks.
right, let's do Christine first.
Okay, I would move to approve the mayor's appointments of the Health Insurance Committee, Investment Committee, and the Wage Committee with Christine Nichols.
Thank you, Councilman Kinney. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve Christine Nichols as our representative on Health Committee, Investment Committee, and Wage Committee. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The Performance Evaluation Committee, Sylvia Naya, to be appointed December 31st.
I would move to appoint Sylvia to that.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve Sylvia for the Performance Evaluation Committee. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have unanimously approved those appointments. Thank you. Item number 2 is a catering permit. Ethan Fitch with the Mint Bar is requesting a catering permit for a Farm Girls Boutique Holiday Open House to be held on November 3rd, 22 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 134 East 21st Avenue. Matt, I believe you didn't have much problem with this morning.
No, I've chatted with both Ethan and Brandy about it. I don't see any reason that this can't be safely and effectively run. I do think Brandy has a slight time change
Okay.
due to a miscommunication on advertising times, so we can talk
Go
about
ahead,
that.
Brandy.
So the adjustment that I would like to make is the time of serving will be from 6 to 8 p.m.
And that doesn't create a substantial difference that would cause me concern for the approval.
Okay, good enough. All right, you've done several.
This is my
catering for us
fourth one
before.
for Farm
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
We haven't had to arrest you or anything yet.
Not yet.
So,
Thank goodness.
so far,
We
so
serve
good.
about 75 guests, and it's just a good way to kick off the holiday season. People come and have a snack, a small cocktail, and visit, and away we go with the holidays.
Very good. Council, do you have any questions or comments for Brandy? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the application as amended.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kinney, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the amended permit. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Mayor.
Oh. Ethan has something he'd like to say.
Come on up if you want.
Hello, everybody. These are pretty low-risk parties that Brandy's putting on, and I have to evaluate what can go wrong. I don't think these people are going to get in fights. I don't think they're going to break things, and I don't think things are going to go wrong in those ways. And so I ask myself, well, how are they going to get home? Are they going to wait till they sober up? Are they going to get a designated driver? What are they going to do? Are they going to walk home? I know they're not going to call a taxi, and I know they're not going to take the bus. I think part of the problem that Torrington has right now is that there's not a safe ride home. We need an alternative to the system that we have now. Not necessarily an alternative, but we need to add to it. The system that we have now is incomplete, and we need to add another ride home, and I think it's a bus line. I think Torrington needs a bus line. I think we need to look at Scotts Bluff because they actually have one. I think we need to run our buses later, though, and this would help keep the streets safer and people out of jail. And so I would ask the council to consider that and see about putting some funding together and do something to help this situation.
Thank you. We'll take that in consideration. Maybe we can act on that in the future.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a motion from Councilman Patterson and a second by Councilman Kinney to approve the catering permit as amended. Is there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, let's move to number 3. Thank you, Brandy. You got it.
I'm done?
You're done.
Awesome, thank you.
She's
I
up for
got
the
one
next
more.
one too, Mayor.
She does have one.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
All right, item number 3, Ethan Fitch with the Mint Bars requesting a catering permit for a Goshen County Library 100-year celebration to be held on December 1st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 2001 East A Street. Matt, any concerns here?
Very similar to the events we've had in the past. Spoke with both Ethan and Brandy about it. I think we're all in agreement of how to run it safely and no concerns.
Good enough. Brandy, we're done.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anything that you'd like to tell us?
Nothing, it's just, again, where it's celebrating 100 years for the Goshen County Library. There will be food available. I'll be catering the appetizers and hors d'oeuvres as well as the drinks. There'll be a jazz band and just a lot of fun in 2 hours.
Very good.
Okay.
Council,
I would move to approve this catering permit.
thank you. Councilman Steinbach has a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the catering permit. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay, item number 5, a catering permit. Jan Harvey with BZ Hospitality LLC is requesting a catering permit for a Goshen County Startup Program event to be held on November 10th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 3200 West C Street. Matt, I think you're the only one here.
I believe so, Mayor. This is a little more complicated of an event just because it's hosted at EWC. It's a mix of underage college students and adults or folks of legal age to consume in the, well, I don't know. Essentially, it's outside the auditorium in the foyer area. And I met with John Hansen and spent quite a bit of time talking through how the event will work. And I think we came up with a pretty reasonable solution of marking out an area kind of in that northeast corner of the foyer that provides a decent space for service, but still offers some separation and allows the event to run smoothly. Chatted with Jan about it. I think we're all in agreement. As long as we stick to these parameters, it should work just fine.
Okay, good enough. Council, do you have any questions for Matt? Looking at the description of what was included, it sounds like it should not be a problem.
I think so. It's always a little tougher when you have a larger crowd and a mixed group, but
Yeah.
I think we've got a safe solution to that.
Sure.
So,
Like,
Well, we'll watch them carefully.
I think the fact that it is EWC sponsored and there's a bunch of EWC employees going to be there,
Yeah.
I feel comfortable.
I do too. Thank you.
And I appreciate that this was brought to us in a timely manner.
Yeah,
Thank you.
lots of good communication on it, so no problems.
Good.
Okay, council.
I would move to approve the Jan Harvey's request for a catering permit for the Goshen County Startup Program at EWC.
Very good, thank you. A motion on first from Councilman Kenny. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the catering permit on November 10th at EWC. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the catering permit. Item number 5, Jan Harvey again with BZ Hospitality LLC is requesting a catering permit for a Goshen County Economic Development Annual Meeting to be held on the 17th of November from 5 to 9 p.m. at 21st and Main, excuse me. I don't see anybody here from there, so it's you again.
It's very similar to other events we've hosted in that building, or not that we've hosted, but that have been hosted in the building. We just used very similar parameters and chatted with the folks at Economic Development and also Jan. I think everybody's in agreement, and we can make that work just fine.
Okay, good enough. Council, you have any questions for Chief? Okay, other than that, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the catering permit for the,
Thank you, Councilman Steinbach. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the catering permit at Goshen County Economic Development on November 17th. Further discussion?
I have something I'd like to.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank you, Chief, for the information that you put on with these, that you've gone over with the people that are asking for the catering permits and so forth, because that's real helpful to me to realize that, this isn't just, going, it's just, there's some information that's been put out, some thought process that's been involved, and I really appreciate having the comments that are on the back page. So thank you very much.
It's really helpful for cops if they have to show up and figure out what the problem is too, so.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Thank you very much.
Good.
Very good. All right, the motion and a second is on the table. If there is no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved that catering permit. Item number 6 is a proclamation proclaiming November 14th through 2022 as National Apprentice Week in the city of Torrington. Attorney Eddington.
Whereas 2022 marks the 85th anniversary of the National Apprenticeship Act. Whereas National Apprenticeship Week is celebrating its 8th anniversary of raising awareness of the vital role registered apprenticeships provide in creating opportunities by allowing apprentices to earn while they learn and preparing a pathway to good quality jobs and well-paying careers in the city of Torrington, Wyoming, and across the nation. Whereas registered apprenticeship programs enable employers to develop and train their future workforce while offering career seekers affordable paths to secure high-paying jobs. As the city of Torrington, Wyoming recognizes this role of registered apprenticeship in expanding opportunities in our workforce that are inclusive of individuals who have been historically underserved, marginalized, and adversely affected by persistent poverty and inequality, thus providing a path for all qualified individuals, including women, youth, people of color, rural communities, justice-involved individuals, and individuals with disabilities, to become apprentices and contribute to America's industries. Whereas the city of Torrington, Wyoming recognizes registered apprenticeship, approving an industry-driven training model can train our workforce and build a pipeline into good quality jobs in order to address our nation's pressing workforce challenges, such as rebuilding our country's infrastructure, addressing critical supply chain demands, supporting a clean energy workforce, modernizing our cybersecurity response, and responding to care economy issues. Now therefore, I, Randy L. Adams, Mayor of the City of Torrington, Wyoming, do hereby declare November 14 through 20, 2022 as National Apprenticeship Week in the City of Torrington, Wyoming.
Thank you, Attorney Eddington. We have tonight with us Electrical Department Supervisor Dana Utes and his apprentice, Mr. Cantu. You want to come on up? You have the floor, sir.
Okay, well, love that week. I mean, we do it every year. Ben has been with us for almost a year. We have one other apprentice, but he will be journeying out to become a journeyman lineman shortly after the first of the year. So I let him off the hook tonight. This guy's on the hook. He's been with us since first week in December. He's working out great, doing a great job. As a matter of fact, today he did primary work with Michael and did a great job. Did it completely safe under supervision of journeyman lineman and got through it really good, I think. So you're making me a little nervous for a little while, but Ben has been a great employee, been a great fit for the team, and I hope he's going to be with us for a long, long time. So, the floor's yours, Ben.
Yeah, Ben told us he'd like to speak. You have anything you'd like to say, Ben?
Yes, I like my job. I like working with the guys that I work with. I get a lot of time in the bucket and on the digger, a lot of experience that I've gotten since I started here. A lot of great teachers, including Dana. Yeah, I just really enjoy the city, and I like working with everybody I work with.
Very good. I've heard a lot of good things about you. I hope you continue to be a City of Torrington employee. Thank you for being here. Thanks,
Thank
Dana.
you.
Appreciate that. Council, do you have any questions for Ben or Dana?
Just, Ben, are you a Torrington native, or are you a transplant?
I'm a transplant. I'm from Morrill, Nebraska.
3/4 of my crew is from Morrill.
Oh, is it? Everybody's got to be from someplace.
That's
My wife's from there, so that's where I gravitate.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Okay, I need a picture.
Okay, yeah.
I need a picture for my Department of Labor gal in Cheyenne.
Do you want me to take it?
Well, no, I got it. Brought my phone. Why don't you go up and stand up with the mayor and council? You're gonna have to go around here.
You want us to stand with him? Dana, you want us to stand with him, or what do you want us to do?
No, that's either or. Either or.
If we stand.
Stan?
I think we should stand.
Slide on down.
And then squeeze in.
Say shock.
Shock and awe?
Got it?
Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you guys.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks. Oh,
Thank you.
yep, thanks.
Glad you're here.
Okay, council, we need a motion regarding that proclamation.
I move to approve the proclamation for National Apprenticeship Act.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion on first from Councilwoman Steinbach. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. A motion and a second to approve the proclamation now saying National Apprentice Week in the City of Torrington, November 14th through 20. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the proclamation. Good job. All right, item number 7, Airport Consulting Engineer 5-year agreement with MC Schaff and Associates. Jeff Harkins, our Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's my recommendation
That council approve retaining MC Shaft and Associates under a 5-year contract to perform engineering services for the airport, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the contract. A request for qualifications was sent out in mid to late September. In response to that request for qualifications, we had 2 engineering consultants provide submittals for that. One was MC Shaft out of Scottsbluff, and the other one was Armstrong Consulting out of Casper. We reviewed the request for qualification statements that they provided. Both of them were basically equally qualified to perform the services. We decided to go with MC Shaft based on their currently very good working relationship that they have with the city, their close proximity, and I guess that's basically it. The 5-year contract basically will give MC Shaft the, first rights to whatever projects we have to do up there. We have a bunch of projects that come through every year. One that's going to be a critical project is the construction of a new terminal building. MC Shaft has already provided the application for the Bill Act to try to get us the money for that. We're estimating that it's going to probably be in the range of around $3 million. So let's cross our fingers that we get that. The considerable part of the services they provide will be reimbursable by either the state and or the FAA. Costs will be determined for the individual scopes of work that they will be providing, and we will bring those to you through various addendums throughout that 5-year period for your approval.
There's a year after year after year, there's lots of money spent at the airport. FAA spends it, state of Wyoming spends it, lots of money. City of Torrington doesn't have to spend much of it. We're about a 5%. Is that what our
4%.
4%,
Typically,
5%?
yeah.
It's a pretty good deal when the state of Wyoming or the federal government is providing 96% of the funding, and we only have to provide 4%. So a good thing. Also, if this project comes full circle and we get this new $3 million project going up there, be a big change for the airport, bigger change than I think anybody in here has ever seen. Be a big deal.
Big improvement for the airport to have a new terminal building.
Yeah.
Because the
very
one
good.
that's up there now is a converted garage.
Yeah, right. Okay, council, any questions for Jeff?
So I'm a little unfamiliar with this, and I apologize if I missed it. So we don't pay anything until their services, until we need their services? Is that how that works? Or is there a fee for this contract?
This contract is a no-fee contract. It just basically gives them first
Gotcha.
authority to provide services for the airport, and those services will be, like I said, through various addendums that'll have costs and so forth that we'll bring to you.
Okay, thank you. That's what
It says that they're currently working on stuff with the airport. Is that under a different contract? Or is that just on a?
They do a lot of stuff without an addendum because they kind of see where things are going and they try to get us in alignment. Like with this terminal building, if we get the application in and we get that funding, then obviously, they're going to be the consultant for providing the design of the terminal building itself. So a lot of times they'll be doing things. I mean, I'll call them over there and ask them questions all the time in regards to, hangar spacing and stuff like that. Just so that when we prepare our maps for ordinances or whatever, we're doing it correctly.
Very good. Other questions? Okay. Time for us to take action.
I would move to approve the airport consulting engineer 5-year agreement with MC Schaff and Associates.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the airport consulting engineer agreement with MC Schaff and Associates. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved that arrangement. Takes us to item number 8, resolution number 2022-13, Attorney Eddington.
Whereas certain budgets had expenditures in excess of the budgeted amount, and whereas Wyoming state statute prohibits any officer or employee of a municipality to make any expenditure or encumbrance in excess of the total appropriation for any department. Therefore, be it resolved that fiscal year 2023 budget of the city of Torrington be amended as follows.
Thank you. Clerk Treasurer Stricker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we visited last meeting on October 18th regarding the transfer of property on the Bighorn property from the Water Department or the Water Fund to the General Fund. This basically adjusts the expense in the Parks Department and increases the revenue so that I can make that transfer. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
I would move to approve this resolution.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2022-13, amending the budget. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the resolution. Thank you. Item number 9 is the Health Insurance Committee proposal regarding the 2023 health insurance renewal. Clerk Treasurer Stricker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So attached to your agenda was a memo that was from the Health Insurance Committee in regards to our renewal starting January 1. As you know, we have a health insurance consultant, Brian Hillier, who meets with us, and we go over our claims for the year and how our fund is doing. We've had a high fund year, and we kind of anticipated this during the budget time. If you remember, during the budget, we increased that expense by, I think the proposal was 11%. So by doing that, we've mitigated some of the increase. We went out for bid for a stop-loss carrier. Actually, Brian does all that. And I just got confirmation tonight that the $30,000 is what we need, and we do have one laser for $200,000 for a member, which I don't believe we'll end up spending. Knowing the history myself, I can't say anything tonight. So I think we're in pretty good shape. And so the committee had a couple options to choose from. We could increase the payroll amount coming out of paychecks for the premium of the employees. That was one of the options. The other option was a plan amendment. Another option was to do nothing and use reserves, which I do have the balance there. The committee chose to do a plan change. The big reason for that is, everybody's paycheck is not going near as far as it used to. And we feel like the change to the actual plan, which would be changing the out-of-pocket maximum, $500 for a single and $1,000 for a family, that would be a better option, and it would affect about 30% of the employees instead of 100% of the employees. It's estimated that about 30% of the employees will get to the maximum out-of-pocket. So the committee felt like this was the best option to raise the $30,000 for the increase this year in the stop-loss premium. So the reserve balance is down slightly because of our high claim year. It's about down $123,000, but it's still at almost $1.4 million. So I believe that should be sufficient to cover us through the budget year when we review this again. And so I'd like your approval to go ahead with this tonight, and so I can let him know that we can go ahead and get going with our renewal.
Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Stricker. Questions for her?
I'd just like to express my appreciation for the committee. I'm on that committee too, so I was there for a lot of the discussions. This is a tough situation, and it continues to be a tough situation, and it's probably not going away in the future. But the city is doing everything it can, and I think without shifting the burden entirely to the employees, this is a good compromise. I think this is probably the best we could do. We would all love to have no increase in costs and no changes in coverage, but the reality is we're still providing good health insurance for our employees, and it's probably comparable to what other government entities are able to do, or even maybe a little bit better. So
I do believe it's a very good plan still, even with the increase in out-of-pocket maximum.
Thank you, Councilman Patterson. Anyone else?
we'd move to approve.
Councilman Patterson moves to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion to approve and seconded by Councilman Patterson and Kate Steinbach. And is there further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the Health Insurance Committee proposal. Thank you. Item number 10 is to approve the bills from 10/19/22 to November 1st, 22. Clerk Treasurer Stricker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Attached to your agenda were a list of bills, and handed out tonight another list. I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
I have one question. It's on page 2. Cheyenne Beverage. What? Who's Cheyenne Beverage, and why are we spending $1,000 with them? Deposit refund, deposit interest refund.
I believe that's a utility deposit refund.
Yep. I don't know.
Cheyenne Beverage, I'm not sure, do you know what business that is?
An address on the,
It doesn't on the bill.
on the final bill.
I can look it up.
I think that's the beer distributor that's not Coors. Does that help?
Could be the old horse.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the Budweiser guys. But I'll,
Horse and sold out or what?
1742 Main Street, doing business as Bison Beverage.
Oh, that is the Coors
Yeah.
building.
Oh,
yeah,
Coors
it
building?
is.
That's the Coors building besides Hardee's, the old Hardee's.
oh, okay.
Between Hardee's and Dean's.
Yeah. Randy Boggs.
Randy Boswell.
Okay.
All right, good enough. Thank you. I have not a question, but on page 4 and 5, in two places, one to the South Dakota State Treasurer and one to the state of Indiana, unclaimed property.
So those are uncashed checks. Every year, this time of the year, I need to turn over unclaimed property to the state of Wyoming, meaning there's uncashed checks out there that have not cleared the bank. So we don't,
Got to keep it balanced, right?
Yep. And most of those are really low dollar amounts because they are deposit refunds. They don't give us a good address when they leave, or they're skips. And we send it to the old address and it comes back. But it's just part of our due diligence, and
Fortunately, it's not
Yep.
very much.
nope, that's right. We had some interesting states this year, so.
That's all I have.
I would move to approve the bills as presented.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. Is there a second?
Second that.
Councilman Patterson, we have a motion and a second to approve the bills. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have approved the bills. Time for public comment. If there's anyone here who would like to speak to a council, ask questions, point out our mistakes, whatever. If there's anybody here that would like to do that, this would be the time. We also have a guest. Would you mind standing and identifying yourself?
My name is Jacob Ball, and I am here just to observe for one of my calls. Political science.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Lancer, do you have anything you want to add? You sent me your report. Doesn't look too significant.
I think we're good.
Okay. Anyone else?
Real quick, Mayor. I just saw it on the bills, but I'm part of the two-shot. Thank you guys for sponsoring him.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Ryan. Okay. That brings us to an adjournment. Anybody ready for that?
I would move to adjourn the meeting.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. I was thinking of Deanna.
Oh, it was quiet there for a while.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
know why
Thank you for coming.
Doing